you love grunge, vintage grunge, you're going to love this tutorial. In today's tutorial, I'm going to play with creating texture and grunge in my background, and then I'm going to turn it into a beautiful art journal page. So here's a sneak peek of the vintage grunge background, and here's the page that I turn it into. Let's get started. So this is a 9 by 14 art journal page, and it has nothing on it. But I am going to apply gesso on it in a fashion to create some texture on the background. I recently watched Sean Petit do some background pages, creating texture with gesso on the page. And this is where I got the idea. And I said, she's right. I need to explore that. So I grabbed the silicone brush, and this was I think it's just a 1-inch one. I have a wider one, and I'm just applying this to the raw page. Some places are thicker, some are thinner, and I know it's really hard to see white on white, but keep going with me. I'm going straight up and down, and I think maybe I should have gone side to side a little bit and up and down. That might have given me a different texture. But here's the thing. Every time you do this, you're going to get a slightly different effect, and you can experiment with ways of applying gesso on the raw page and see the different effects. So don't forget to take this idea and play with it and see what you can come up with. Then, while I was just going to leave it at that, I decided I'm going to grab this piece of shelf liner and I'm going to stamp into the wet gesso on the page. I figure it's going to give me another texture to this background. So I'm just pressing it. And actually, I think I put the shelf liner in some of the gesso and stamped with it again to make another level of texture. So there you see it. I'm going to make sure that this has a good dry before I go to the next step. So she used burnt umber, and I'm going to use burnt umber, and I'm adding water to it. She used fluid acrylics, and I don't have that, so I'm just adding water to it. So she went all over with the brown color. This is going to give that vintage. Do you have to use brown? Absolutely not. I'm going to try this again. I'm going to use Prussian blue as the first layer. You want a fairly dark color so that the texture stands out. And you can see already some of that texture from the shelf liner, from applying it with the silicone brush, is coming out. Now I'm putting this on. I'm trying to keep it wet and keep it moving because I'm going to take some of this off. Now, where there's raw paper, it looks differently because it absorbs into the paper in a different way than what it does going on top of the gesso. And those are the variations that's going to build the visual texture. There's some 3D texture on here, but there's also the visual texture of the lights and the darks and the movement on the page. So I'm wiped off some of that with a baby wipe, and then I'm applying more color. So creating this background is a bit of a dance between you put something on, you take something off, you're playing with the lights and the darks on the page. So I'm wiping it off, and just playing with it. You have to be willing when you're doing a background like this to just play with it and go follow your instincts. So I'm just adding more. And, I'm not particularly liking the straight up and down. I think I would have done that, more random application. And I'm making notes to myself. Here I'm grabbed a baby wipe and I'm removing some more of that. And you can see I've really built up the lights and the darks. And you can see the shelf liner stamping. You can see the stripes of the application of the gesso with the silicone brush. You can rub off as much or as little if you want. If you rub off too much, add more paint. there's that dance thing. Now, if you want to take it down a little bit more, you can use a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and that's just going to get more of that paint off. Look at that. Oh, yes. You can just really bring out, and you can be selective. It's not like you're going to use the rubbing alcohol everywhere. You're just picking and choosing areas and just adding to the pattern and the texture and the overall look of the page. So you're in control. How much, how little, what you do here. So I just kind of keep playing with it, right? And where I think it's good, that's where it's good. You might do something a little bit different, and that's fine. We all have to do ourselves. Now I'm adding a little bit more of the dark back in. I want lighter and darker areas. I'm turning the page. Now, when you try a technique for the first time, there's a learning curve. It may not turn out perfect, and that's okay. That's what it's about. It's about learning. So embrace that uncertainty because know that that's how you learn. I've added a little bit of black into my brown here, just again to add that one layer, another layer of a different tone. I really like the marks, the texture that the shelf liner gave to this page. A little added something something. And at this point, I'm just interested in creating this background. I'm not even thinking about how I'm going to turn this into a page. Now, here's where the magic happens when you add a color to it. Here I grab bright aqua, but I do switch it out for a turquoise that's a little less opaque. But you just put this on top of that brown and the vintage, and it just seems magical to me. Like it's like OMG, I love, love, love how that looks. This gives me, like a copper patina, that kind of look. And you can add as much or as little of the color. You put too much, you're not happy, grab a baby wipe, wipe it off, right? And I'm putting more color in some places, less in others, then you get that very, very faint turquoise color at it. And you can play with any color that goes on. You could put orange, you could put a purple, a burgundy. There's nothing saying you have to do it exactly as I have it. I just want to give you the basic idea, just like Sean did for me. And then I'm playing with it and I'm adding my own particular ideas and things I want to try. So right now I am in love with this background. It is lovely. And I'm thinking total vintage. So I grabbed this old English alphabet stamp. I think it's from Stamperia. And I'm putting on black acrylic paint with a makeup sponge here. Not trying to be perfect with it because I'm not looking for a perfect stamp. I just want to add another layer of vintage and grunge. So I'm putting it on. Right now I have it on a stamping block. And then I decide I don't want it perfect. I want some randomness here. So I take it off and I'm just going to press different parts of it on my background. I'm working to the next layer. I thought this time that I was done with the color layers, but I'm not. Spoiler alert. And I'm just stamping. Again, my goal isn't to get perfect stamps. Now that one was a little crooked, so I wipe it off and reapply. And because everything's permanent underneath, I could do that. Ain't gonna lie, loving, loving, loving the background. And then I decide I'm going to add some quinacridone magenta, just a little bit. And I love the combination, right? And I'm showing you, two different colors on that grunge brown background, what it looks like. So again, don't be afraid to experiment because quite often, most times, you discover something that's OMG. And again, I have no idea. In fact, I thought the video was going to end with the creation of this, and I was going to say, okay, there's a background, and now you can use it for whatever. But I decided to, you know, frame it here. I'm shading around the outside edge just to see what it looks like as an art journal page, and that's where I was going to leave it. Then I got some ideas and decided to finish the page. So there it is, loving it. Close up, you can see the texture, the lines. So then I thought I have this masquerade um, scrapbook pages that I got from Stamperia. And I thought, they have that same aqua in there. So I'm playing with some of the ephemera that I've stuck in there. This girl was in there. That wheel came from something else I collected somewhere. You know how that goes. There was the flower from that masquerade set. Then I had some vintage photos that I had taken out of a book that I turned into an art journal. And I thought, okay, they would go. This is a vintage background using old photos. This was another one of those old photos. Oh, and I like how this looks. That seems to fit. Oh, I could go sideways. So you're playing with the orientation, playing with the possibilities. I call it auditioning the possibilities. No, I like that wheel, but it would work, but it doesn't really add to it. I think I can find a better place for it down the road. Some of the cards, nope. It doesn't take long to decide if something doesn't work. And then I put those in one file and, go back and forth about the ones that maybes. And then I grab the sentiment. We all have a time machine. Dreams take us forward, memories take us back. This is from my sentiment pack, and I'll link that down below. It's about time. And I'm thinking, oh, I could do it on the side. I kind of like that orientation, but my first instinct was doing it in this orientation. So I think I'm going to go with my first thought. So I cut apart the sentiment into 3 strips, and now I just want to kind of position them, have an idea. And then I thought, there's that time, um, you know, dreams, memories. This is kind of, directional kind of stuff. I thought this is a stamp again. I think it's from Stamperia, and I'm just adding that with black into the background. Right now that I have the basic background, now I can tweak that background, add a few things to make it work with the focal image that I've now picked. So get your background to a point where, kind of standard, and then add more when you make those final decisions of focal image and everything. Some of them I'm stamping off the page. Then I decide I want to introduce more of that aqua to the background. I grab this children's block. It makes a perfect mark making tool. It ties in the aqua of the flowers and the girl. Now I know the bright aqua there isn't exactly vintage or grunge, but I like doing opposites sometimes. I think that really works on a page. And I really like that addition of the color. Remember, my vintage background, vintage grunge background, was the starting point, not the ending point. And then I grab gold and a cap and add some circles. Gotta have some bling. And, I love mark making with these household type items or things from the recycle bin. They really add a lot to the page. And I apologize. You're going to see it in a few videos, me using it. But I want to bring home the fact that you don't have to spend a lot of money to have some wonderful mark making tools. I'm loving how the gold and the aqua of the stamping, the mark making I'm doing now ties in with that focal image because they have that teal and that. Then I'm grabbing gel medium, and I'm using gel medium because this scrapbook paper and it's a little thicker, and I tend to use the gel version of the matte medium when it's thicker paper or there's a lot of texture below, and I'll use the fluid medium when it's just copy paper. So I'm gluing that down, and I'm putting a coat of it on top as well. And that's in case I want to do any overpainting. It turns it into a non-porous surface and gives me options. Now, the white of the sentiment is a little too stark, so I'm taking some unbleached titanium and watering it down and just putting a slight wash to make it match more the vintage feel of this page. Now I'm shading around the girl and the flowers just to bring it out and have the focal image stand out from the background. I love how those flowers from the Stemperia collection and that girl from the um, discarded thrift store book, it looks like they were made for each other. They work so well together. If I was using those flowers on a different page with that wasn't vintage, I might give it a wash of color to make it stand out a little bit more, brighten those colors, but I like them muted for this page. Now, here's another way you can shade around. This is a charcoal's General's charcoal pencil, and this is the medium. I believe it's the medium or soft. And I'm just rubbing, going around it and rubbing it. It gives kind of that shading, muted, really plays well with the vintage feel. So if you don't want to do the shading the way with the brush that I showed you earlier, you can use charcoal's pencil or Stabilo all pencil and then activate it with water. Just adding a little bit of shading here and there, whatever just looks good. And then we are done this page. I'm taking off the tape. Oh, it's starting lifting up the tape or the paper. So I'm just giving it a little shot with the heat tool that releases the adhesive, and I stop ripping the page. So there we have the finished page. And I just love how everything came together. And I know that I need to explore more adding texture to a page. Um, and creating this using different colors. So here's some close-ups of the finished page. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share this with your crafty friends if you think these are good tutorials. Until next time, go get creative.